Here we go, welcome back to our PCM 25 career mode. In our last episode we took on smaller Spanish races and as you can see, very successful, 6 wins. And of course today I want to keep winning. Starting off with a race we can actually win the Figueira Champions Classic in Portugal with Lucas COBBLE as second favorite. And our 74 sprint stat is better than Morgado, so on paper with a flat finish, we should be able to do this. Let's get ourselves a victory. Not exactly the greatest start ever, -1 on COBBLE, but still 74 sprint stat. This is kind of the final of the race, so it's all about getting COBBLE over those climbs, which on Pro Cycling Manager should be quite doable. Now in the last 50 kilometers on the second last climb, and I gotta say the tempo in the peloton is ridiculous. The peloton's down to 47 riders, so gotta make sure that I stay in the front group because it's been a very selective race so far. There we go, over the top, still in the first group. Lots of attacks before the final climb, including Antonio Morgado off the front, but the gap is very minimal and other teams like Quickstep and Trek are taking care of it, so I'm just staying in the peloton. There we go, on to the final climb, attack once again by Quickstep and Morgado is following, so I gotta make sure that my team can what's happening? Morgado is just sitting up completely and getting water in the middle of the climb. That was crazy behavior, but it's good for us because we're literally just setting up our sprint train. There's one more bump in the last couple of kilometers, but I'm a little bit worried about my energy, which is not looking too fantastic, so hopefully this small descent can help me recover. In the last 9 kilometers now, 2 small bumps, and I've got 3 riders in a peloton of 19 riders with the likes of Morgado still here, but energy-wise, we're not looking that fantastic. Oh, we gotta move. We gotta try and follow that. We've got Quickstep attacking with Garofoli and Morgado following in the last 5.8 kilometers, but we are in the wheel with Veldhofer kind of gapped, so let's close it. They've been caught. There goes Morgado with a move with 3 kilometers to go now. Watson is ready to try and catch him. There we go. Come on, Watson. Lead out of a lifetime. Not 99 yet. Not 99 yet. We're gonna catch him. We're gonna catch him. Sprint by Watson. COBBLE in the wheel. We're catching him. Now last kilometer right here. COBBLE launches. Got a fully in the wheel, but no one can compete with Mr. Lucas COBBLE. There we go. That's a victory. A lot of small attacks in the last couple of kilometers, but despite our lack of energy, everything under control. Starting off pretty well today. First place for COBBLE, second place for Watson. That's our 7th victory of the season. And we're only just getting started. Next up, we've got 2 stage races at the same time, Andalucia and Algarve, so that should be fun. Starting off with Algarve, a 5-day stage race in Portugal, always the same parkour, a flat sprint on day 1, medium mountain finish on day 2, time trial on day 3, sprint on day 4, and lastly, a hilly parkour on day 5. And it looks like Portuguese royalty is competing. João Almeida is here. Meanwhile, Visma Lease Bike brings Richard Carapaz. I'm still not used to that. Oh, and maybe the favorite, Remco Evenepoel for Soudal Quickstep, especially with the time trial. But of course, it is finally time for Ivan Romeo to step on a bicycle this year, his first race day. And since we are in Portugal, I felt like it was the right thing to do to give Yuri Leitão an opportunity in the sprints. So yeah, let's try to beat Mes Pedersen with Yuri Leitão. That is not gonna go well. Starting off with a 0 day on Leitão, but a +2 on his sprint stats, so 75 sprint, maybe a podium? That is kind of what I'm hoping for. In the last 7.5 kilometers, Pericas on 99, but I don't really have a lead out here, so Romeo is basically my GC rider and my last man. Wow, my position is not exactly fantastic. Mintegi can try and launch past. Come on, Romeo in the wheel, 2.5 kilometers to go. I'm going very early with Romeo, but I'm basically blocked in, so this is gonna be a disaster. Actually, maybe not. Last kilometer right here, Leitão goes on the right of Romeo, but it's gonna be potentially a podium, probably a top 5 unless we got Pedersen moving up in the World Champs jersey. We finished 5th, so a pretty solid outcome, especially considering how bad the lead out was looking with about 3 kilometers to go. Anyway, we do have a pretty surprising winner, a Portuguese rider, Ivo Oliveira, against Caden Groves and Pedersen. That's a pretty crazy win. But now it's time to start a different race. The Vuelta a Andalucia, also known as the Ruta del Sol, starting off with a medium mountain stage and a downhill finish on stage 1. Hilly parkour on day 2, medium mountain stage once again on day 3, once again on day 4, and then a hilly time trial on the final day. This time we don't have Ivan Romeo, but instead it's the first race day for a big new signing, Lorenzo Finn, 79 medium mountain, so I think he's gotten better. And there's no real sprints in this race, so I did not bring a sprinter. That said, our competition is gonna be pretty tough. Tadej Pogacar is here. Meanwhile, Lorenzo Finn is 7th favorite, so I'm hoping for potentially a top 5 in GC, but that's gonna be tough. Anyway, stage 1 is all about the final climb, the Puerto Las Palomas, which is actually a pretty tough climb, but a downhill to the finish. Let's jump in and see what happens. Ooh la la, starting off with a +2 on the day, so 82 medium mountain. Tadej Pogačar, watch out buddy, I'm coming for you. There's a break of 7 riders up the road, but in the peloton, it is UAE Team Emirates who is setting up tempo, so I do think this breakaway is completely under control. As I said, I think this stage is all about the final climb, which is actually quite steep in places. And that climb has begun, 12.8k at 6.4%, and we are in a perfect position right now with Tadej Pogačar sitting in about 10th place, but we are in like 3rd place, so Lorenzo Finn's looking good. There we go, we've got some moves on the left side of the road by Soler setting up a tempo, and Pogačar is moving up now on the right side of the road. I'm basically in the wheel together with Arrieta as my last protector, but my yellow bar is not looking too fantastic with 2k to go. Come on Finn, 1.2 kilometers to the top, move up, move up, move up, and there comes my move Tadej Pogačar as well, so we're attacking together with Tadej Pogačar and 3 other riders. Lenny Martinez just off the back, maybe? Not really. So in the last 4 kilometers, in a descent, in the wheel of Tadej Pogačar together with 3 other riders. Morgado? How is he here? That is crazy. I think I should already launch because, well, it's a downhill finish. Straight past Pogačar, can we do that? Maybe on the right side of the road. Pogačar's probably gonna be faster, but I'm trying to beat him anyway. Tadej Pogačar is gonna win in Grazalema, but we might finish 2nd place here. Let's take a look. It's gonna be 3rd, behind 2 UAE riders. That was a stressful final, but that's a really good result. Like, if you told me before the stage that I'd finish 4th place in the same time as Tadej Pogačar, I think I'd be quite happy, but now I'm kinda just sad that I didn't finish on the podium. Anyway, the GC is basically the same as the stage result, so 4th place as well. That is a result we can build upon. Anyway, back to the other race, Algarve, also at a medium mountain stage with a finish on the Alto de Foya. I could be wrong, but I think that is the climb with a statue of Remco Evenepoel. And as you can see, Remco Evenepoel is also the favorite. I'll just try to finish as close as possible with Ivan Romeo, but 76 medium mountain, that's gonna be tough. Oh snap, starting off with a -2 on Romeo, so that is pretty awful. 75 medium mountain only, so today's gonna be a struggle. Like sure, the final climb is not that steep, but with these stats, it's gonna be tough. I gotta say, nothing really happened in this stage and the final climb is already coming. I'm trying to get myself a little bit more to the front, but look at my yellow bar. Already spending energy just doing that. I've got a bad feeling about today. The real climb only starts with 7k to go, but 15k to go and the climb's already begun, so we're gonna be suffering. I'm already past the halfway point of my yellow bar. Like, I'm trying to spend the bare minimum of energy on this climb, but even on 73, 74, I'm losing so many positions and my yellow bar keeps on bleeding, so I'm going to get slaughtered here. Lots of riders dropping off the back of the peloton, including Ivan Romeo, so GC in this race is gonna be really difficult. Lots of solid climbers dropping as well. Sepp Kuss right there, and at the front of the race we've got probably Remco? Yes indeed, Remco's winning today. I am trying to get as close as possible, and this is the group of Sepp Kuss that I'm catching on to in the last kilometer, but I'm also completely out of yellow bars, so I won't be passing them. There we go, crossing the finish in about 21st position. It's fair to say I was hoping for something better. Like, the simple fact is, with Romeo having such bad daily form, there's not much I could do. He simply wasn't good enough. Finishing on 3 minutes and 15 seconds, that's a massive gap. Anyway, back to Andalucia, where Lorenzo Finn is actually competitive for GC and also for this 2nd stage. 1 climb in the last 20 kilometers and a downhill finish. Tadej Pogačar as the favorite, but we are 3rd favorite, so I want to get at least the podium here. So yeah, let's jump in. Ay, it looks like Romeo's daily form is spreading. A -2 for Lorenzo Finn, but at least today's stage does not look too selective. But actually, Javier Serrano with 74 hill stat and 72 sprint should be able to get over this climb, so I think he can win this stage. Just about halfway the race, and the break is still 8 riders with 5 minutes and 30 seconds on the peloton with 65k to go, and UAE is not exactly pacing too highly, so I'm a little bit worried about the breakaway. So I am putting Fernandez at the front of the peloton to make sure the peloton actually wins. And in the meanwhile, I'll munch on some pasta. Closing in on the final climb now, and Samuel Fernandez has done a fantastic job chasing down the breakaway. UAE is also helping now, Bahrain as well, so the break is now on 2 minutes 30, so under control. Here we go, onto the climb. Not the steepest climb, so we should be able to follow, I believe. Serrano is also the last man in my train, so I have decided to go for Serrano and not for Finn, which that might cost me bonus seconds, but might gain me the stage win. 2 kilometers to the top, the breakaway is in sight. Pogacar is in a better position, but Gomez Lopez is doing a good job keeping ourselves up there as well. There goes an attack by Alessandro Vera, but he stops already, so I'm not complaining. Finn, Arieta, and Silfova looking fantastic. It's looking pretty good. 6 kilometers to go in a perfect position, and actually we're making a split to the peloton, so let's try an attack right here with Arieta. Is that doing something? Yes, it is. We've got Fran Miholjevic trying to catch us, but we've got a 10-second gap on the rest of the peloton, so 4.5k to go. Let's keep on flying down, and it looks like UAE is catching up. Absolutely storming down this downhill. 2 kilometers to go. Arieta can sprint. Finn in the wheel is ready as well. Serrano in that wheel is ready too. So let's go with Serrano pretty soon. 1k to go. It's uphill, so I don't want to go too early. But now goes Serrano. We've got a solid sprint, but Morgado is trying to come around on the left side. But no, Javier Serrano is going to win in Iznajar. There we go. That is a victory, and a nice one. Like, we literally gave up on bonus seconds for Lorenzo Finn just to make sure Javier Serrano had a chance of sprinting here, so I'm really happy that our man won. Tadej Pogacar does take bonus seconds, but Lorenzo Finn finishes on the same time. Actually, wait a second. Looking at GC, there are no bonus seconds in this race, so scrap all that. We're still on the same time as Pogacar. Wait a second. Lucas Lopes, lousy race? This race, Algarve, was not worthy of a major professional race label? What the hell? You're Portuguese. This race is in Portugal. You should be happy. I don't think the Portuguese will love to hear that. Anyway, talking about Algarve, 18-kilometer time trial on stage 3, completely flat. Remco Evenepoel as the favorite, but also Josh Charling here as well. So Romeo, it's gonna be tough, but I'm hoping for potentially a podium. But I'm gonna need some better daily form for that. Here we go. Ivan Romeo is on the road. Not the longest time trial, so I'm aiming for 86 when it comes to my energy spendage. First time check is incoming. Let's take a look. Ethan Hayter is first, and we are 4th place on 7 seconds, so not exactly the greatest time. Come on, Lucas Lopes, give us a bit of a lead out, my friend. Team time trial, why not? Second time check incoming. Let's take a look. First time by 4 seconds on Hayter, so we're catching up. In the last kilometer, as we speak, we gotta spend that red bar though. Come on, let's do 90. Might have spent a bit too much too early, but first time, 13 seconds ahead of Hayter. But of course, Joshua Tarling is about to destroy our time by 38 seconds. And of course, Remco Evenepoel is yet to come. There goes Remco to the finish line, and let's take a look. He finishes first by 19 seconds over Joshua Tarling, 49 seconds over Pedersen, who also beats Romeo in 4th place. But hey, after this time trial, we are moving up quite a lot in GC to 9th place on 4 minutes 22. Those are massive gaps for a race like Algarve. Okay then, back to Andalucia, once again a medium mountain stage, but the last proper climb is with roughly 10 kilometers to go. Still a bit of an uphill to the finish line though, but obviously Tadej Pogacar is the favorite, but I'm hoping to stay in the top 3 of GC with Lorenzo Finn. I really think that might be possible. Despite there being lots of climbing throughout the stage, it's all gonna be about this climb, the final one, and it's actually not that hard. I really think Finn can get through this unscathed. I've never used the word unscathed, but I think that was the right way to do it. Now in the last 30 kilometers, and the break has 3 minutes left on the peloton, but they will get caught. I've got Finn well protected by Mr. Gomez Lopez in a perfect position as the final climb is starting. Let's up it towards 75 a little bit. The Puerto de Baeza, 8.2k at 6%. Let's do 85. I want to keep myself in a perfect position here. We've got Pogacar sitting on the left of our train, but Jayco is pacing right now. That is a move on the left side of the road. Lenny Martinez and Pogacar following, but I'm just gonna do my own tempo and try and catch up slowly but surely because I've got lots of domestiques around me and I don't want to get rid of them. Pogacar is caught again. Crossing the top as we speak. Finn can actually sit up. Arieta can come to the front and control the tempo for us. Last 5.5 kilometers go 99 into this final downhill. Serrano can get ahead of Finn and be the lead out. That is the plan. NSHL for both riders. Looking pretty solid. Let's wait to launch for now. Onto the climb right now. It is too early to go, I think. Let's go on 92, 93 with Serrano. We've got Morgado on the left side of the road with a gap on us, but now I'm going 96. I can't go too early, but I'll have to do it. There goes Finn right now. We've got Morgado and Pogacar, but I'm gonna come second, I think, maybe third. It's gonna be a UAE festival once again. Morgado in the... Actually, Buddy is gonna come around. No, it is Morgado winning, Pogacar second, and Lorenzo Finn finishing in third. So a nice podium, but I was hoping for the W, you know? Tadej Pogacar's competition is literally in his own team. Antonio Morgado taking 7 seconds on the road, which means that Morgado is the leader in GC by 7 seconds on both Pogacar and Finn. Our goal was staying on the podium, and we did that. But I would have liked a little bit more time on other competitors because there is a time trial incoming, and we don't exactly have a big gap on the others. But first, it's time for a very calm sprint stage in Algarve against Mess Pedersen. I must confess, Leitao was pretty solid in the first sprint stage, so let's hope that happens again. Another top 5, maybe a podium, that would be awesome. Okay, so a -1 daily form on Leitao, but a +1 on his sprint stat, so 74 sprint. That's fine. Come on, team, we're losing positions here. This is not part of the plan. UAE with Vine was blocking us a little bit. NSGL on Romeo and on Leitao, which not in the right position as we speak. Last 3.8 kilometers, what a mess. Can we even make it forward? I'll try my best to launch my sprint with Mintegi right now to get through on the right. That is working. That is actually working. Romeo goes right now with Leitao in the wheel with 1.3 kilometers to go, but Leitao is literally out of red bar. Leitao is completely out of energy, so despite the good position, it's gonna be Fradevo winning or Pedersen. It is Mess Pedersen taking the victory, and we finish in the top 10 in 9th place, but a little bit disappointing, especially since our lead out was looking so incredibly good. Honestly, it's quite simple really. Yuri Leitao, Slow Tao, struggled to follow the wheel of Romeo, and 9th place is the outcome. Now back to Andalucia for the 4th stage, a medium mountain stage with the last climb being the Alto del Purche, about 20 kilometers from the finish line, so a downhill and flat finish. Like, we are far from the favorite, but I do think we should be able to protect our podium spot on this stage. If anything, I hope we can take some more time. I was about to say that Javier Serrano with 75 medium mountain could get over this climb and sprint for the win, but it's actually a very steep climb. So our plan is all out Lorenzo Finn. Anyway, the final climb is slowly but surely starting, and the peloton is only 37 riders because there's been a split in the peloton. I'm actually barely holding on at the back, so I need to move up. There we go, a better position. Pogacar is already speeding up a little bit together with his team at the front of the peloton, so gotta make sure I can follow here. And that's a move on the right by Lenny Martinez, bridging towards the leftovers of the breakaway, but no response by Morgado nor Pogacar. Martinez has a gap of 40 seconds right now on a group led by Pogacar has a gap. I did not see that attack at all, so that is not brilliant. Can I make a move towards them? That is the question. Last 2.5k on the climb, I think I have to. There we go, Lorenzo Finn goes with a burst right now, and now I'll switch towards 85 and have Arieta protect him as long as possible. Hopefully we can close the gap, but it's 37 seconds. There is the top. They are crossing it as we speak in a group of 7 people right now. We are in the second group basically, but I'm sad to report that in the descent the gap is growing to 45 seconds and the second group is now a solid 15 riders, so not looking that well right now. But now attacks are following left and right in this second group, and I'm gonna have to hurry to follow in the wheel here, but it also means that Tadej Pogacar is getting caught and we're getting dropped. Get to the wheel, get to the wheel, get to the wheel. Come on, Arieta. Bring us back, boy. Bring us back. There we go, back in the wheel. 2 kilometers to go now, so I think I need to launch. I'll launch early, right now on the right side of the road. There goes my man Finn. We're getting absolutely destroyed though by Tadej Pogacar, but a top 5 is definitely possible. Tadej Pogacar wins in Granada, but it's gonna be a top 10 for Lorenzo Finn here, which... it's an okay outcome. It certainly looked a lot worse when Pogacar had a 45-second gap. The GC basically stays the same though. Morgado with 7 seconds on his teammate Pogacar, and Finn in 3rd place also on 7 seconds. But of course with the time trial coming, only having 11 seconds on Martinez and 24 seconds on O'Connor, I think I'm gonna lose my podium. But we should be able to stay in the top 5, I think. But first we need to finish off Algarve with the Mayao climb, so a punchy finish. Remco Evenepoel is the favorite, but as you can see, we are literally 4 minutes and 22 seconds behind in GC in 9th place, so I don't care about Remco Evenepoel. I care about sustaining my top 10 and getting as close as possible to the top 5. I decided to take a shower before these last two races, and fortunately, it looks like I'm the only washed person in this team. 0 day for Romeo, so that's a solid start. By the way, you might have noticed in the last couple of episodes, behind me right there, I've got a bit of a Lego collection building up, and I was wondering, is a collection tour something you'd like to see on this channel? Because I'd enjoy doing it, I think. So, in the last 16 kilometers as we speak, and Mintegi has 77 base hill stat now, so that man must have grown somehow, but setting up Pericas and Romeo, so we're looking pretty solid. Ooh, that's a bit of a tempo by UAE on this small bump with 10 kilometers to go, so gotta make sure I can follow this tempo and stay at the front somehow. There we go, moving back up, 6.5 kilometers to go. Breakaway is about to get caught. We kind of left it late, but doesn't really matter. Lopez is setting up the team quite well at the moment. And here we go, onto the climb as we speak. 2 kilometers to go. Mintegi is setting up right now with Pericas in the wheel on 95. That might be too much, so let's do 92, 94. It's only 1.5k to go, so I'm going 99 to follow Remco Evenepoel here. Pericas is in the wheel, Romeo in that wheel. Let's go right now. Oh, I switched away, but looks like Pericas is gonna win. Pericas is gonna win this stage. Never mind. Pedersen moving up on the right side of the road, but Adria Pericas is gonna win the final stage of Algarve. That is a shock winner. After being with our team for more than a year, it was only in the last episode that Pericas took his first victory for us, and now, in the next episode, already a second win. Now, of course, it's not too relevant for GC, where Remco Evenepoel is the winner of the Volta Algarve, but we finished 8th in GC with Romeo. But of course, with a beautiful victory like that, I don't care too much about GC. What a win by Pericas. But I think it's fair to say I'm a little bit less confident about the final stage of Andalucia, where Tadej Pogacar is undoubtedly the favorite for this time trial. 13k, kinda hilly. Like sure, Lorenzo Finn's been fantastic in the medium mountain stages, but 69 time trial, that won't be enough. Honestly, I'm just hoping to stay in the top 5 of GC. While we are spectating Mr. Dick right here, I do want to talk to you for a second. I know this episode and the last one have been focusing on the smaller races quite a bit, and I know there's a couple of you that care way more about the bigger races, but I do feel like these small races are important to build character, to build narrative in this series, so that's why I'm playing them. And to be honest, I'm enjoying these races. Anyway, Mr. Dick with a very fast finish. Oh my god, I just accidentally went ×8 throughout the entire time trial, forgetting about Lorenzo Finn. Well, that was kinda stupid, but hey, in the end, I don't think I could have done that much better. 16 plays on 1 minute and 5 seconds. While Tadej Pogacar is unsurprisingly the winner. And also the winner of the race, taking over the lead from his teammate Morgado, but we stay in the top 5. We do lose our podium, but I was kind of expecting that. Overall, I'd say Algarve and Andalucia were both pretty solid races for us, with Javier Serrano taking a stage win at Andalucia and Adria Pericas in Algarve, and finishing 4th and 8th in GC. And after these races, we are still in 2nd place in the World Tour ranking with a pretty solid gap to 3rd place, so that's pretty good. But I want to take on one more race in today's video, the start of the opening weekend, the start of the classics, Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. But I have to say, the start list looks absolutely stacked. Mathieu van der Poel, Tadej Pogacar, Mess Pedersen, Wout van Aert, and the list just keeps going. Meanwhile, our best cobbler is Samuel Watson with 76 cobble and 73 sprint. But I've also got Lukas Kubic with 74 cobble and 74 sprint. And also Matthias Kopecky with basically the same stats. Like, maybe I'm crazy, but I think I want to podium this race. Okay, here we go. Easily the most important race of today's video, a +1 on Watson, so that is very welcome. We've got 79 cobble stats, 74 sprint. He might as well be our leader because Matthias Kopecky has 76 cobble, 75 sprint, also pretty solid. Kubic with a -1, so 75 cobble, 74 sprint. I reckon it's either Kopecky or Watson. It really depends on who survives the last 2 climbs, because in Pro Cycling Manager, Omloop is all about the Muur van Gerardsbergen and the Bosberg. We're now past the halfway point of the race on the cobble sectors, crashes, punctures everywhere, but our team's looking pretty solid still in the peloton, still looking good when it comes to our energy, so pretty comfortable. The next climb is the Wolvenberg, as you can see on the map here, and our team is well positioned in a train formation, trying to get up this climb pretty fast, so let's do 90 to make sure we stay in position, and that's looking pretty good. Oh snap, that's an attack by Tadej Pogacar, Van der Poel, Pedersen, the big guns are off, and it's so early that I don't know what to do. I don't feel like it's my responsibility to close that down. It looks like other teams have closed down the gap towards the breakaway and the big guns for me, so that is brilliant. We've got our team once again in position. Whew! Crisis averted. We're slowly but surely closing in towards the Muur van Gerardsbergen, and once again a move by Gianni Vermeers, Hofstetter, Asgreen and Silfo following, but I'm just controlling the tempo with Hector Alvarez in the peloton. Is that Pedersen responding? Yes, it is, to an attack by Ruch and Tiller. We've got Walscheid on the right side of the road. Let's do 95 and try to follow with Alvarez and close that down. And there he goes again. Pedersen together with Wellens this time around, who switched from pacing to attacking, but I'm spending a bit more energy on Kopecky than I would have preferred, so I think it's definitely for Samuel Watson for us. And there they go again with Pogacar, Van der Poel, all the big guns once again attacking, but I think they're all gonna get caught again, so I'm keeping my train formation going, and there we go, they're caught. Anyway, time for the big climb. Let's move up with Schwarzbacher right now. Kopecky in the wheel, let's do this. This is the Muur van Gerardsbergen. We've got some attacks by Mathieu Van der Poel. Schwarzbacher with his last bit of energy trying to follow, but he is struggling, so Kopecky's gonna have to do it himself right now with Kubish and Watson in the wheel, but it looks like we are indeed in the group, so that is nice. Are we? Yes, we are. Now the Bosberg is about to begin. 3 riders in the group here, but the majority of my team has no energy, so it's all about whether Watson can follow Mathieu Van der Poel's attack on the left side of the road, and immediately a gap Pedersen in the wheel. I think I need to stay in this group because otherwise I'm gonna ruin myself for 3rd place. Yeah, they're gone. They are gone. Pogacar's now chasing by himself. Is he just chasing or attacking? I'm gonna get in his wheel either way. It's a gap of 37 seconds, so Van der Poel versus Pedersen, I think that's for the victory. These last 9 kilometers, I am simply gonna stick to the wheel of Tadej Pogacar. Wout van Aert is also in this group, so bit of a sprinter in that man, but I'm fighting for 3rd. Last 2.8 kilometers, the gap is still 35 seconds, still in the wheel of Tadej Pogacar. I've got no yellow bar, I've got some red bar. I'm just gonna sprint and hope for the best. We've got Wout van Aert going right there in the wheel of Tadej Pogacar. Van Aert went very early, so maybe I can do it, but Pogacar ran out of energy, so I'm gonna have to go now. It's gonna be a potential top 5, missing out. Oh, that is so close, but it's gonna be a top 10 for Samuel Watson. Miss Pedersen won Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. I didn't even see it, my bad, but it's gonna be a 7th place for us, which is okay. Hey, technically we beat Tadej Pogacar, so is Samuel Watson now the best cyclist in the world? Not sure that's how it works, but a 7th place is a pretty solid start to the classic season for us, so it finally shows us that we are competitive in these races. Anyway, next episode we'll take on Strade Bianche, also a big race followed by Paris-Nice and Tirreno Adriatico, so 3 World Tour races, much bigger stakes. But I fear that's the end of today's episode. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye!